Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Homestead Miami Speedway for the 33rd race and the 8th playoff race in the NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series 2021 season. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. on pole for the 4th time this season, alongside him teammate and co-owner of Evans Gardner Motorsports, Allison Rain. And I'm joined once again by Vince Rees.
Yeah, well, EGM get one of their cars in the playoffs tonight. Can Charles Sanford, Oscar or Zorlin spoil the party? Can Andrew Rich go 3 out of 4? All that and more at Homestead, Miami. Day and night coming up.
Allison Rain got her 4th pole of the season last week, so I guess it's only fitting Fitzwater got his 4th of the season this week. They start on the front row. Samet Oskin and Jonathan Zorlin in row number 2. Seth Cole and Nico Tringali, row 3. Quinton Moore, Andrew Rich, row 4. With Adam Flickinger and Kev Shearer in row 5. Bit of a shock there. I'll go through the rest of the starting lineup as Vince goes over the drivers that failed to miss the race and our past race winners at this racetrack.
So we have Sam Dyer, Scott Roush, Logan Williams, Edwin Justice, Trey Smith, Christian Vargas, Daniel Bouchard, Hamill for another all-rookie miss. Our past winners in 17, we had James Shelley. 2018, Andrew Rich looking to go again with another win on chalk. And Jesse Turner last year, who starts, I think, 24th, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't have any pit road or anything stats, but we know tire fall will be critical here. And we're going to say the outside line for what I said will be not the best at the beginning, but you can try to find a nice hole, let's say 5th on a 10th in that range early on, and try to break away from the pack. It should be a clean race, but it's Homestead. Anything can happen as the temperature cools down from the track.
The worst qualifier out of the playoff drivers was Jessica Shelton in 22nd. Nate Rogers just in front of her in 19th. And then Dillon Young on the bottom in, I believe, 13th. Sanford starting 12th. So nobody really struggling in qualifying here today. It's sure to be an exciting race, 67 laps. We should see a one-stop event if this goes green. Pit window is 32 to 34 with about 2.5 to 3.5 seconds of fall off. And, you know, with Sanford, Oskin, Zorlin already with wins, if one of them can win or a non-playoff driver wins, it'll shrink the likely number down to 4 for the finale.
Drivers, start your engines.
So I believe, Vince, at the beginning of the playoffs, you said 6 drivers in the finale, and I said 5, and, well, we could still have 5, but do we really think a playoff driver is going to get a win at Pensacola?
No, and do we really think someone who hasn't already won, Sanford or Zorlin, not win here? I mean, we'll see. It's going to be close. I think EGM's got to come out swinging tonight hard, Zach. This is their last shot, especially with rain. You can't chance it to Pensacola. Anybody in the field knows it, too. I expect strategy to be all over the place in terms of when to go, when to save tires on the run. It's going to be a good race. And Dillon Young, we talked about him last race with his Hail Mary call. We see something similar tonight. I wouldn't get bet against it.
Yeah, and you just think, you know, in the last 4 seasons, Pensacola has always been the playoff cutoff race one way or another. And you used to be able to just point your way into the finale. Well, you can't do that this year. It's the win and you're in format. You win in one of the first 9 races, you're locked into the finale. We have certainly had less drivers win than I expected. Only 3 in 7 races. But who knows? That could change up to 5 in these next 2 events. Green flag is out, as we've got 2 straight weeks of racing in Homestead, Florida, with no Jerky Pro competition until the finale at Chicagoland in 2 weeks.
Fitzwater off there rocking of a start in 1 and 2. Now what does he do? He's going to go up the rain, block that side draft, block the draft, and then go down low to Oscar. You see Seth Cole, who's great at Darlington despite the engine blow up. He knows road courses are gone. He's got to make it happen at this 1.5 mile.
You see about 190 plus miles an hour into the corners here. Early on, they're going to be slinging it, flying through the corners. But as the run goes on and the tire wear kicks in, you're going to see that top side be able to fight back a little bit. So early on, bottom is definitely the way to go. Samet Oskin to the inside of Fitzwater for the race lead. Seth Cole up to third. Rain fourth. Sorlin fifth.
Seth Cole knows what he's got to do to get underneath Fitzwater. And we talked about, I said about top 6-10 should file in line, play it out. Seems like the top 5 are going to try to do that. Alexander Rowe looks underneath Quinn Moore for 6th.
Tringali filed in line for 8th. Adam Flickinger still in the top 10 and 9th. Here comes Dillon Young. Charles Sanford going to make it 3 wide on Nate Rogers and Zach Flickinger. So you see Kev Shear just outside of the top 10. So far, Jessica Shelton running in 24th place, the lowest out of the playoff drivers. And of course, the top 30 fight continuing here today. Now a 43-point gap from McShane to Matthew Rodriguez. Yepes, 68 back. Of course, Yepes won't be returning to that car. He's jumping over to the 18 for Joe Gibbs, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. But, you know, you talk about Pensacola, Vince, and, you know, Nico Tringali, Nate Rogers, you know, those are the kind of guys we expect to see with a chance that haven't had a chance at other places this season. Of course, Tringali's won twice in Jerky Pro this year, or no, once in Jerky Pro this year, sorry. Nate's won twice in Jerky Pro, 1 cup race at Puka Kohei. And, you know, it's been a grind for these Hendrick Motorsports drivers compared to their teammate, Jonathan Zorlin.
Yeah, I think if you mentioned Pensacola, you told me in previous experiences, Kev should have won that track. And imagine a start come in the final race of the season off of Pensacola. He probably wouldn't have a chance against the big heavyweights, but for that team, he definitely would get the driver of the year. He gets driver of the year award in terms of comeback. You see, Alexander Rowe seems to have the best car early on, making moves.
He is flying, Vince, and is this motivation for Rowe after Rich won last week? You know, it's a 30-point gap now for 12th in the points. It's not really a big deal, I guess, but maybe it is to them. You know, you're the best of the drivers that didn't make the playoffs. You want to be 12th in the points, maybe a little bit of extra rep going into 2022. But Rowe is driven up through the field, and he is in 3rd place behind Oskin and Fitzwater. Tringali chilling in 5th. You see the field really start to single file out. This is where we're going to just kind of see people start running their lines, running their race, and really going to be able to see who comes and goes. Sanford's driven it up to 7th. Sorlin's right there with him in 8th. Rich, Young, Nate Rogers, 9th, 10th, and 11th. As Fitzwater's looking for the race lead, Rowe's going to give him the help. Remember, Rowe made it a 3-wide move back at Papyrus. Looking for the win there. Shoved Fitzwater out of line. And Sorlin was able to take advantage and get the W.
I know, Zach, it's called chessboard racing. When do you make the moves? When do you move that king and queen? When do you move the bishop to attack? No offense to RJ there, but see Rowe looking for 2nd, and he's going to try to go for the lead, but draft is important. Fitzwater will get that top run, help Oskin push him down the straight. Now Rowe will look underneath a little lower, but he washed up tight. As you see, Seth Cole will go for 3rd.
And Alexander Rowe with the fastest time here in the first stint, a 28.935. Nico Tringali and Andrew Rich, the other 2 drivers, under 29.0. But Oskin has been able to hold on, and Fitzwater's going to hold on for 2nd, get a bit of a run there, jump it down to the bottom. As the battle is on for 5th, Allison Rain looking for that position, as now Fitzwater is going to go for the race lead. 10 laps into the run, half a second to fall off.
Right, you saw what Fitzwater did. He dived in the corner there on exit, or excuse me, in the middle of the corner, and then he went off exit and accelerated and throttled it up. Let's see if Oskin does the same thing after you saw what he did, what Fitzwater did to him. As you see, Rowe looks like underneath, though.
And it was Rowe's move to the bottom that let Fitzwater kind of arc it back down, get a bit of a run there off of 4, and helped him set up Oskin. As things are getting dicey here, we're seeing the drivers that have pushed their stuff too hard in the first 11 laps starting to get tight. Drivers that have saved their stuff looking to take advantage. You've got Rain on the inside of Seth Cole. That's for 4th place. Tringali starting to falter a little bit. Andrew Rich on his inside.
You know, Zach, give Dillon Young credit. I mean, also Rich as well. He's hanging in there, top 10. Maybe he's finally got some race pace tonight to play a little strategy game that could work this time.
Sanford will pass Tringali for 8th. This row is still working on Austin. We're going to go through the field here really quickly as things are heating up at the front. Single file behind, Zach Flickinger, Quentin Moore, William Brock, Amanda Evans, and Levi McIntyre. To 16th, Adam Flickinger, 17th, Keith Rich, Logan York, Ferranti, the top 20. It's another one of those tracks where the talent will rise to the top. You got Turner and Ace Rogers side by side for 21st. About 3 wide here now for 23rd, Deaver McShane and Bishop. Colt Hudson, Peter Onjak, Lane Sanders, Kukulon, Kev Shearer down the 30th. Shelton down to 32nd. Ellison, Sam Young struggling today. Ellison's pretty much got Rookie of the Year in the bag. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can...
EGM 1-2 is that. EGM 1-2 as we go through the field, though. I think they teamed up and got around at Husky.
Matt Rod and Yepes also at the back as with the Red Bull cars. Still don't know who's going to be driving these Red Bull cars next year. Laura Chung's heading over to Joe Gibbs Racing, and Cara Bell will not be returning to the Cup Series.
Man, Fitzy now. Could this be a... We saw it in Auto Club, right? It's that one-on-one duel. Can we get a last one-on-one duel where we're both eligible for the playoffs for right now?
Well, just think about it. We're 15 laps into the race, and last place is already 9.5 seconds behind the leader. I really think we could see lap cars here tonight, in the evening, whatever you want to call it. Oskin starting to fade back. So, Sanford looking to his inside for what will be 5th place. And what does Sanford have? Does Sanford, like, everybody seems pretty even so far tonight, to be honest, Vince. You know, undercutting and overcutting could be the difference maker out of these guys in the top 10. If they all pit on the same lap, I really think any advantage goes out the window, and the higher you're running, the better off you're going to be as Rain looks for the race lead. Remember, diving it in as hard as you can to pit road means a lot. Being the 5th car or further back really hurts you.
This reminds me a lot of Denver, Zach, earlier in the year when Rain and Fitzwater were two. I think this is going to be one of those places with the access road being such a slippery slope. It hasn't been used. There's a lot of dirt down there. You got to be careful. As Rain, you see Fitzwater, the outside run, though, holds his own. Looks like Rain is going to take the lead, though, on exit.
And, you know, just think, we mentioned Pensacola. Pensacola, you can't guarantee anything. This is the last race. You've got a legitimate shot to make it into the finale with a win on pace. And I think Rain knows that. Fitzwater knows that. And Alexander Rose up here looking to spoil the party as Sanford's up to 4th and Rich is up to 5th.
Two guys and gals at the front, and then the rest are just spoilers. We got Rowe, Rich, Zorlin, Oskin, Sanford, all in a row, just here for the party, spoiling it.
We're about 14 laps away from that pit window. Falloff has reached the 2nd. We're seeing who has been able to keep it at the front. You see Zorlin about the first one there, getting tight. Falling back with Oskin. Dillon Young's made it up to 9th. Tringali's going to dive under Oskin. And now Seth Cole to the inside of Dillon Young. Nate Rogers just kind of been chilling in 11th this whole time.
Same for the lead.
Same with a lot of guys behind them. As Fitzwater, looking back to the inside of Rain, was about to go through the field again, but it looks like things are getting pretty spicy up here. You see Fitzwater has to check up. Rain just able to throw it into the corner. That's going to let Sanford pull in, close up the distance. Now you see Andrew Rich kind of fading back, and it might be a 4-horse race, Vince.
It could be, and we're probably going to go on board with someone here in a second. But you see Fitzwater, he just seems to try to get lower on Rain and entry. Rowe is doing the same thing. They're, like you said, they're equal. It's maybe within, I want to say, a 10th between the top 10 within laps. It's not like you're going to get a lot of distance here.
Well, let's
Sanford goes a little higher.
go on board with the best intermediate racer of all time in the form of Allison Rain.
Here we go.
Fitzwater's getting a huge run.
Look at this. Get the mirror view too. Now, let's see. Rain's going to keep that wheel steady. A little bit in the middle, not low, not high, about in the middle. Runs it there, about 170, let's say. As she gets back to the gas right there, off exit, down the back straightaway, keeping Fitzwater in the mirror. A little super speedway type racing, the preview for next week. Back to the middle, off the gas, got to work the throttle, pedal. Fitzwater gets a big run on the outside, a little side draft from him, or the inside, a little side draft from him. And I think it's going to be a battle to the lead at the start finish line. Here we go.
And Sanford to the inside of row for third at the same time. Oh my goodness gracious. Will tonight be the night? This was the site where in 2018 Andrew Rich got win number 8. That was the finale in 2018. Could it be the site where Sanford gets record-breaking mark win number 9 for the single season record?
It'd be something, right? Because I think it'd be number, I want to say 13 combined for, or something like that for both series in 1 year.
12.
Or 12, excuse me, yeah, it could be combined 12. Terminator's back. What can you do? But look at Rain closing up. See, Rain seems to have the better car 1-2, but Fitzwater 3 and 4. It could be one of those who gets you at the line type deals tonight.
Rich still kind of there in the draft. You can see Sorlin and Oskin, 6th and 7th, have gapped Nate Rogers, who's moved up to 8th. Tringali now out of the top 10. I think it's time to go through the field one more time, Vince, before we have pit stops. Flickinger still been in 12th, Moore 13th, Brock 14th, Amanda Evans 15th, as McIntyre now sits in 16th. Keith Rich has fallen down a little bit. He's in 18th. Turner up into the top 20. Cole Deaver 1 spot out of the top 20. Hudson, Bishop, McShane. McShane 24th, Matt Rod 38th. That's 14 points right there at the moment. Onjak, 26th. Ferranti, Ace Rogers, Kukulon, Shelton, Shearer all struggling tonight. And you see the rookies, Ellison struggling, Sam Young, Osmain Hamid, Will Parrish, Matt Rod, Stephen Colon, Carabel, Yepes, and Laura Chung. 15 seconds behind the leaders. I think we're getting lap traffic for sure, as Sanford has passed Fitzwater for second place. And it looks like last time by it was a photo finish between Rain and Fitzy, and then Fitzy maybe checked up. Sanford got by. Fall off now, 27 laps in, 2 seconds off. And you really got to wonder, Vince, 32 to 34, do you want to undercut or do you want to overcut?
Man, this could be the race. It could be literally I want to go split the difference. I don't think you want to undercut or overcut. Go 33. But if you're one of these top 3, I think it's a cat and mouse game. Who blinks first? I say they all come in. Actually, Ranger Rich is back in the party. He's definitely there now.
I think if you're Rowe or Rich, going another lap wouldn't be a bad idea because it would let you really throw it into the pit lane. You know, we've always, you know, they might be running nose to tail here on track now, but when they pit, there's always seemed to have been like a little bit of a gap increases because you got to get harder on the brakes. Sanford's peeking to the inside of Allison Rain. Rain's probably like, you got to be kidding me, Charles. You've already won 2 of these intermediates in the playoffs. Do you really need another one? But Sanford's like, hey, if you don't win Pensacola, I don't have to worry about you at Chicagoland.
And realistically, say if Allison Rain doesn't win tonight, Sanford's looking good. Maybe he has to hold off Zorlin, but man, this is looking really good for Allison Rain right now. But we've seen pit strategy come into play, as you see.
Oh, she's going to pit now, lap 30.
That's not a one-stopper. That is a 2-stopper. They did not use the access row. I'm surprised by that.
Don't have to do that here. Fitzwater going to go for the lead. Can these guys make it on one stop now? That's a big question mark here now.
Now remember, Sanford did that to Rain and Darlington. Did Rain say, hey guys, look at the top of the box. Look what Sanford did. I think Fitzwater's coming in too. Someone's coming in. Yep, Fitzy and Rowe.
Sanford's going to make a late dive too. Rich will stay out.
They can't make...
Nate Rogers, Dillon Young, and Tringali are going to stay out. A lot of people staying on track. Oh, this is going to get interesting, Vince.
They have to go. Someone has to go 37 laps to make Allison Rain's strategy work. I don't know if that's possible in a one-stop, or is this just a two-stop race flat out? Rich is slowing down here.
See if Rich pits this time or if he goes another lap.
Yeah, he's
nope.
pitting. He's pitting.
Nate Rogers and Dillon Young are going to stay out. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Anyone else doing that? Yes. Doesn't matter to us. Evans and I think Flickinger. That doesn't matter.
Could Nate Rogers and Dillon Young using the same strategy from Memphis?
I think they're pitting. They just weaved a little bit. I think they're going to go, oh boy, 33 laps. That's going to be close for Rain, Fitzwater, and them.
Here they come. Amanda Evans is going to pit here too. She was on the outside of William Brock. Adam Flickinger, Keith Rich, Priya McShane, Henderson, Kukulon all stayed out. Sanford is right behind Rain. Fitzwater lost a decent chunk of time. Laura Chung had stayed out as well, and that is everybody. Pit road here can get dicey with all these pit cycles. There's Andrew Rich. Now, if Rich can somehow stretch it, I believe it would be 35 laps. He's looking pretty good.
I don't know about the strategy from Rain. I think that might have been too. Same with. Might have been too early. I don't know. Rain Sanford. This is gonna be close.
I don't see how you can run 37 laps on a tank of gas here. Heck, I don't know how you can run 36. Those other guys barely made it 33. Maybe you can stretch it 34, but I don't think you can go any further.
Boy, if that's how the championship is decided, I mean, so we know Pensacola is a crapshoot. This could be it. Well, man, this is gonna be close. I don't know.
It might be firing another crew chief here if this costs Rain a chance at the championship fight. We know what happened at Miller Motorsports Park with Rain and Fitzwater. Could this be another bad calculation by the crew chief thinking she burned up too much gas? Sanford went another lap. He's going to go to her inside. The tire difference is there. There is going to be some lap traffic here right now. Everybody on the lead lap. Nate Rogers is in 11th place, and he is almost a second and a half above Dillon Young.
Dillon Young, I mean, the crew is just not letting him. He hasn't worked for all year, and he's had a good crew all year. It's been great pit call. I know Provo, he made a great call in other places. Just the pit crew let him down. We'll see. He's got to battle Nate, though. He can get back up there. We'll see.
Well, just remember, too, it's only if Andrew Rich can't stretch it 35 laps. If he can stretch it 35 laps, I think Rich is going to win this thing. Of course, that's if we don't have a caution flag. I mean, it looks like we're not going to. Everyone's pretty spaced out. But, you know, Rich, if he can stretch it 35 laps, I'd say he's got this in the bag. But if he can't, that's going to set the battle up for gas between Nate Rogers and Dillon Young. And Dillon Young, I think, knows he's flying. He wants to be there right behind or right in front of the 9. This number 9 car going to be repping Mountain Dew rest of the season. Whiteout scheme tonight. Code Red next week. Mountain Dew regular scheme at Chicagoland.
Dillon Young's got his home fans here. His second home. They're cheering this guy on. I want this guy in Chicagoland for the finale. This could be a shot.
Cole Deaver joins Rich Tringalian Rowe as a driver to run faster than a 29.0 with a 28.996 lap time. As Deaver is up into 9th from the undercut. Deaver with a very good pit stop. See Sanford in the lead, Rain second, Fitzy third, Rich up the 4th. Will go through the field. Flickinger in 11th. Moore and Logan York fighting for 14th place. McIntyre, Turner, Shelton up to 18th. Brock and Onjack the top 20. Hudson, Amanda Evans there we saw stay out. Keith Rich, Alex Ferranti, Adam Flickinger Flickinger to the top 25. Sam Young up into the top 30. Matt Rod down in 30th. Parrish looking to take that position. Kev Shearer not having the day he wanted, running in 32nd. Kukulon, same thing. He's going to take a position there, though, for 35th. RJ from Memphis last week. Great run to tonight. Terrible run. Same thing for James Ellison. As you see the back half of the field straggling in front of the leaders as Sorlin is looking for 5th on Alexander Rowe. But Sanford is just running fast enough lap times to where he's got the advantage in the corners, and these two are keeping up in the draft. But you see Fitzwater did pit the same lap as Charles, so he's got the tire advantage over Rain. And I mean, if I'm Allison Rain, I would think, hey, if I'm not going to make it to the end, you might as well pit me now. We might as well pit now and gain as much time as we can, because that's the only way we're going to have a shot at this unless we get a caution flag.
Smart enough right now is that they're not seeing the full race picture. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to pit with, I'd say, 6-7 to go, and that's the game. Sanford, I don't know if he can make it, though. Is Andrew Rich in that perfect position, just coast and save fuel off that draft? I get behind Zorlin. Let Zorlin pass you, save a little fuel, and that's it.
And Sorlin, I believe, pit the same lap as, I thought, Sanford, but perhaps not.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he had a full stop.
Dillon Young has passed Nate Rogers for 11th place. This could be the battle for the win, and Dillon Young, we talked about it, Vince, last week. Hometown track, you know, born in Chicago, but lives in Florida, so grew up in Florida, so, you know, Homestead, Pensacola, they're hometown tracks for him just as much as Chicagoland. And could a win at Homestead be what gets him into the finale?
Ironically, we're going to Homestead is now we're here at Homestead. That old famous quote. But no, Dillon Young gets an extra 2 tenths. We got 3 wide. Cole Deaver's having a nice run tonight. I haven't talked much about him.
Well, he was suffering earlier outside of the top 20, but I think pit strategy really helped him out, got him up into the top 10. As Rain is falling back from the leaders, as Fitzwater could be challenging Sanford for the race lead.
Fitzy's, I know for a fact I picked Fitzy to win a championship in the preseason thing. Can he fulfill that request? But he's got to make it on field. Now, here we go. Fitzy's favorite thing is coming.
Lap cars.
That's right.
How much faster are they running? They are about 2 tenths faster than these guys. Sorlin is challenging Andrew Rich for position. That's for 4th. So they are closing the money on the top 2. Meanwhile, Dillon Young now with almost a second advantage over Nate Rogers.
I don't think Nate has this rawest pace. It's all about Dillon Young and seeing what he can do to get to that second pack and get in the draft to save some more fields. Here comes Fitzy again. Just doesn't have the run, though.
If Andrew Rich can't make it on fuel, it's going to come down to Dillon Young and Nate Rogers. Dillon Young looking like he's in the position to get it done. But what kind of strategy games will we see for the rest of this race? You know, we've seen some wacky things on the intermediate tracks this year, such as Meadowlands in Kentucky. What does Rain do? Rain is just losing time. I mean, if I was her, I would be asking, can we pit now? Just less than 20 to go. Start gaining some time. Could start, you know, if she pits now, she could get Sanford and Fitzwater the answer and come right down with her. And that would leave Andrew Rich out on the racetrack.
I'd be the aggressor, and she's just falling back in the clutches of Rich. Now, Fitzwater, he's interesting. Does he want to pass Sanford and burn more fuel? The leader cleans the track and also burns the most fuel. But Sanford is getting that distance from, I believe it's Laura Chung.
Yeah, he's getting some draft now off the 83 and the 1. We're just chilling in second to last place. Rich holds off Sorlin. Deaver up to 7th. As Dillon Young has caught Oskin for 10th, and you can see Nate Rogers just unable to keep pace with the 2 compared to the first run.
I'm not mistaken, that Dillon Young and Oscar be the only teammates in the Final Four if they get this done tonight.
Indeed, you are correct.
That's big. Teammates is always nice. Even though it's a championship on the line, teammates is always nice to have for the company.
Oskin's going to go to the bottom. Tringali moved up to block, but I think that's going to help Dillon Young more than anything with the draft here on the straightaway. That's going to get Dillon Young by Oskin for 10th. Rain has fallen back now over 2.5 seconds from the top two, as Rich will close up from 4th place. Fitzwater has actually started to falter behind Charles Sanford. But the big question here coming to lap 53 is, when do these guys pit? Because we do not expect them to make it 36, 37 laps on gas.
Well, that was for Rain. I think Rich is like I said, 35 is even stretching it, but he is in the best position, other than the other two, Rogers and Young.
There's no way. I don't think Dillon Young can close 5 seconds here. He is hauling the mail, though. I'm almost wondering, is Dillon Young perhaps pushing it too hard? Could Nate be saving that little extra amount of gas by taking it easy?
Oh, my goodness. That would be Dillon Young would be beside himself if that was the case, and that would be a stunner because Nate Rogers hasn't had the speed all year. I know he had that win. I think it was the road course that
Pukekohe?
I think it was it. Pukekohe, yep, I remember.
On the inversion race.
The inversion race. He just hasn't had the raw pace all year. That's where Kev won, too. But
Nate has been rather consistent, though. Only 5 top 5s, but 16 top 10s on the season. Of course, coming into this race, you have Zorlin, Sanford, and Rain with 16 top 5s. And then Zorlin, Fitzy, Sanford, and Oskin all with 22 top 10s. There's still that top 10, top 5 record battle going on.
There it is there. Andrew Rich is around Rain. Rain's got to come in now. This is too long. If they can't make it, I don't understand this at all, actually.
Dillon Young's going to get 7th from Cole Deaver here as he continues to close the distance to Andrew Rich. And Sorlin now has a bumper full of Fitzwater again as they get by Laura Chung.
Sanford does.
Fitzwater got by Chung too.
No, you said Zorlin has a bumper full of Fitzwater.
Oh, did I now? Well then.
It's all good. It's all good.
You'd think I'd be awake by now. It's been about 3 hours.
Yeah, that's all right, buddy. Fitzwater's got a nice draft run him. Pez is helping Sanford a little bit as he go to the outside and does one of his famous arch crossovers.
We saw it earlier in the race on Oskin. But as they run, Oskin, Sanford, Fitzy, and Zorlin would all get a top 10. As far as top 5s go, just Sanford, Rain, and Zorlin would get a top 5 too. So, man, that record fight, man, it's heating up.
Dillon Young is on the back. He's going to be close to the row. He's definitely hauling. He's got a shot to maybe get a top 5 on raw pace if they don't come in, but I think they're going to pit.
Nate Rogers has been passed by Seth Cole.
Is he saving, though? Is Dillon Young going too quick? Because he's right there on row.
Sorlin all over the bumper of Rain for 4th place. And we're about to hit the money lap. We're on lap 58. 2 laps now. We could see pit stops at any moment. The top two getting slowed by Yepes and Stephen Colon. Sanford peeking the nose. Yepes is going to be the one to peek it. But they can't get anything going now. Sanford's going to dip down as Carabelle's pitting.
That's a sign.
Allison Rain, though, is stuck to Zorlin's outside. She can't do nothing. Young has passed Alexander Rowe. Anybody coming in? Jesse Turner has made it up to 15th place at a track he won at last season. All right, what do you do? It's lap 59.
I don't know if they can make it, Zach.
Nobody pitting yet. Still no sign of anybody having to pit. As Dillon Young's closing up on Allison Rain. Nate Rogers to the inside of Seth Cole. Look at the gap from 13th of Flickinger to 13th of Quinton Moore. 14th of Quinton Moore, and then to Turner. Shelton still holding on in the top 20. Kev Shearer, though, running outside the top 30. All right, here we go. We're just going to start watching these leaders now. Charles Sanford, what are you doing? You're not pitting. Allison Rain. Rain's going to stay out. Trying to maybe stretch it as long as they can, Vince. We did see guys go 33 laps on the first stint. Maybe hoping for a caution flag here. Charles Sanford's got Yepes between him and Fitzwater. Now, he pit on lap 31 on the first stint, coming to 32. No sign of him pitting.
Rain pitting.
Rain's going to get passed by Dillon Young now for 5th.
Dillon Young can make it to 4th. I just don't think he can win the race if they don't pit now. It's too much time he has to make up. But what an effort by Dillon. He's been flying all night.
Him and Andrew Rich are hauling the mail. Only driver to pit has been Cara Bell. I believe she took 2 tires.
Here's the moment of truth for Sanford.
Sanford's pitting.
Yeah.
Fitzwater's pitting. Here we go. Coming to
Where's
5
Rich?
to go. Rich will stay
Rich
out.
Dillon Young's going to win this race. Zorland's pitting.
Zorland and Rain pitting. Nate Rogers will stay on track.
Dillon Young is going to win this race. We can back it down now if Andrew Rich has to pit.
2.5 seconds is the gap if Rich can somehow make it. He's got draft of Stephen Colon. He's going to Colon's inside. But what does Rich do? Does he have to pit here coming to 4 to go? He will not. He is going to stay on track.
If I'm Dillon Young, you got to go now. Now you got to go. You got to go.
This is similar to the 2017 Homestead race where a lot of people were pitting at the end.
He's flying.
Dillon Young's got it under 2 seconds. But will Stephen Colon hold him up?
Oh, my God. Stephen Colon was the problem in Auto Club for Fitzy. Is he going to be the thorn in Dillon Young's hopes?
Can Dillon
Is
Young
Rich
even
pitting?
catch him on pace alone? Rich is
No,
coming to the
pitting.
pits. Rich is going to come to the pits at 3 to go. That gives the
Dillon
lead
Young.
to Dillon Young. Nate Rogers nowhere in sight. Fuel racing here. Tringali stays out. He's in second. Nate is almost 5 seconds behind Dillon Young.
I think he saved too much. Now, can Dillon Young just keep it together here? I don't think he has anybody really in sight, like you said.
Coming to 2 laps to go.
Oh, no.
Dillon Young's going to pit. I can't believe it.
Oh, now there's the 9 pit. There's the 9 pit.
No, he doesn't. It's Tringali pit. Nate Rogers is going to take 2 to go.
Nate Rogers saved an upfield. Dillon
I
Young
had a
burned it up.
feeling. I had the feeling, man. Dillon Young was hauling the mail.
No,
Bad
no,
decision.
If he pits with 2 to go, it won't matter. Then I don't know who would win.
Brock,
gonna be-
Brock is in second with Keith Rich right there in third. And Amanda Evans fourth. I think McIntyre, Kukulon, McShane, and Henderson have stayed out. No, he
it's
is
over.
not pitting. White flag is in the air for Nate Rogers.
Rogers with the steal this century. Dillon Young, that's a heartbreaker.
And it's going to come down to Pensacola for 3 of the big 5. Vince Fitzwater, Rain, and Dillon Young. Nate is still
Unbelievable.
underpowered. Dillon's going to come out on the lead lap.
He's probably kicking himself right now. But how about Nate Rogers? Not the fastest car all night, but the smartest guy all night. We got someone on the apron.
That's Stephen Colon pitting. Checkered
Oh, man.
flag in the air. Nate Rogers will get his 2nd win of the season and lock himself into the finale. What a strategy call. That is
It's
Nate.
not about the fastest, buddy.
Nate Rogers gets his 5th career win here at Homestead. And look at the drivers that stayed out. William Brock 2nd, Keith Rich 3rd, Amanda Evans 4th. Kukulon will get a 5th place result. Priya McShane gets 6th. Henderson 7th, Kev 8th, Sanford 9th, Fitzwater 10th. Rain faltered back down there at the end on the pit call there, 18th.
Dillon Young. Oh, my God. You got to feel for him.
Dillon Young 12th, Rich 11th. Matthew Rodriguez finishes 37th to McShane's 6th. Oh, that is very close. I think it might be a handful of points now going into Pensacola. Let me see if I can do some quick mental math here. McShane getting 42 points for this race, so she's not going to pass him in the points. She gains 36, so it's a 7-point gap going into Pensacola between McShane and Matt Rod. So McShane's just got to make the race to have a chance here at the end of the season. She could be locked into the top, locked into the first 5 races next year if she returns. Which I believe she is returning. I think we announced that she would come back. But man, Nate Rogers, what a strategy call to avoid the mayhem at Pensacola. Oh man, Vince, it's just speechless.
I thought Dillon Young, he had it, but I guess he went too hard. And that's the problem with Dillon Young on that last run. He was flying with the tires. He was burning them up. Less fuel trying to set flyers. And he just burned himself to death, unfortunately. I mean, he still got one more shot at home in Pensacola, but it doesn't look good. Because anyone can win there.
Looking at Dillon Young's pit stop there, it was 2.8 seconds long. And just the amount of fuel he needed to save. He had 4 seconds of a gap to Nate. And he just didn't save what he needed to save there, and ended up probably being the 1 lap short. That's why they pit him at 2 to go, or 3 to go rather. And Nate, man, what a call there to just play saving game all race long, and it paid off as the race stayed green. That'll do it for us from Homestead, and we will see you guys next week for the wild cutoff race that is Pensacola.